to be or not to be a Sonic fan? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler to just sit down with a frown and not ever have to think about what's coming next or what happened before, or just do and feel pain. Anyways, today I'm going to be talking about Sonic Lost World, which I have to say, I think it gets overhated. Everyone calm down. Let me speak my piece. Okay? Listen. So, Sonic Lost World. First I want to talk about the story. I think it has a pretty decent story. I don't think it's like Frontiers levels, which I would say has my favorite story. Maybe not favorite. I'll get to that in another video. But I do think it has a decent story. I like most of it. I especially like that Eggman and Sonic team up. I know it's not the first time they've done that, but I do like that aspect. I like the dynamic between all of them, and like the cutscenes where like Sonic and Tails are like, "Eggman, you bite," and he's like, but I like the concept of the Deadly Six. The concept. I'll talk about that more when I'm talking about like the bosses. We'll talk about the Deadly Six. Okay, well, for the story, I like them. I mean, they're basically Koopalings, but I do like the concept of them. I think that they get a bad rap just because a lot of people don't like this, and I'll get to that in a bit. But I do like them a lot as characters. They especially get their time to shine in the IDW comics, but this isn't about that. This is about Sonic Lost World. There is one thing that does irk me a little bit. Well, there's a couple things. First of all, Sonic's a dumbass. I mean, and when I say that, I mean like so in the very beginning of the, not very beginning, but like Second World, the whole reason for Sonic and Eggman teaming up is because Sonic's dumbass kicks the thing controlling the Deadly Six out of Eggman's hand, and then they turn on Eggman, which causes him to team up with Sonic. But because of Sonic's stupidity, he would have never had to do that. I mean, I guess, I don't know. In the end, Eggman would have just been making the Deadly Six do what they were already going to do to Sonic, but I don't know. It's Sonic just doesn't think sometimes, and it's kind of annoying. I guess it's his character, though. But another thing that irked me was towards the end of the game, they want to capture Sonic. The Deadly Six wants to capture Sonic and turn him into a robot, but they end up capturing Tails. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna fight Tails? No. He shows up, and he's looking all cool and like all roboted out. But you don't even fight him. He just like he turns on the Zeddy, the Deadly Six, and that's kind of disappointing. Well, I mean, with the way that they did the bosses, it could have potentially been really shitty, which I'll get to in a bit. But just the way that it was like, he appeared in a cutscene, it's like, oh, we're gonna fight Tails, and then you don't. I don't know. It's disappointing to me. But the levels, I like most of them. Most of the ones I don't like are all in like one area, and it's like the ice levels. I don't know why, but those gave me so much difficulty. The one where you're like in a snowball. I think that's like one of the ones with the I don't know her name, the green woman, Deadly Six, Xena or something like that. I think that's one of her boss fights, and but just it gave me flashbacks to the Mario Galaxy rolling hills levels where you're in that ball and Power Star's in it and you gotta like roll it to the end, and my dumbass just like fell off every single time. Maybe it's just a skill issue, I don't know. I mean, I can do it like easily on the Galaxy Switch. This is hella off topic, and I didn't like those levels. They reminded me of those too much. And there were like random moments where there would be like a chill, not really chill level, but it would be like a easier level, and it's still fun, but then randomly like it's fucking like it's just hard for no reason, or like really annoying, and I don't know, that did kind of like ruin the fun for me at some points. But I overall liked most of the levels, most of them. There were a lot towards the later game that I didn't like as much, but a lot of the earlier levels are pretty good. But the bosses, there's 4 zones or levels in every world, and the even like the second and fourth level of each world would have a boss at the end instead of the checkpoint, or not checkpoint, goal point. You'd have to fight the boss and then it'd be over. But these fucking bosses, I cannot stress enough how bad these bosses are, and some might be better than others, but for the majority, there's only one boss that's good, and I'll talk about that in a second. But like all of the Deadly Six bosses just made me want to fucking jump off a building, and that's really disappointing, because I like them as characters, but then you just go and make the shittiest boss fight ever, and yeah, that like takes down a lot of points for this game for me. But I don't know, it could have been way better if the bosses just weren't so fucking shitty and annoying, and it made me just want to die, basically. The only boss that was good was the final boss, which is Eggman. Surprise, surprise. Not only is his boss fight like actually fun and challenging, not in a way that's like bullshit annoying, it's like, oh, you're actually having to use skills to beat him. Maybe not skill, I don't know, but it's way better than any of the other bosses, like all of them combined. And actually, if all of the bosses were combined, it would be like one of the 9 levels of hell. That's my circle of hell. You know who you are. Anyways, Eggman's boss is great, and not only is his boss great, but the boss music. And this segues into my last point. The only consistently good thing about this game was the music, and which is a given. Most Sonic games consistently have good music. I can't think at the top of my head of one that I don't really like the soundtrack as much, but this game, the specifically the one that outshines the most, in my opinion, is the Eggman Showdown theme. Like that whole... I heard that's the whole reason I played this game, was because I was on Spotify and it just randomly started playing and I was just like... You know, it's such a good song. It's such a good song. That's literally the only reason I played the game. Well, that and to say I beat Sonic Lost World, which I don't think a lot of people would normally be proud to say. But in the end, I really did enjoy this game. I really think it doesn't get... I understand its problems, and I talked about its problems a bit, but for what's there, the good parts that are there are good. I like them. I enjoyed parts of this game, but that isn't to say that there are some god-awful, shitty-ass parts in this game. But I do think if you have a Wii U or a PC, I don't even think you have to have a decent laptop or PC to play Lost World. God. Ooh, fuck. I'm gonna cut that out.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
If you have a Wii U or like an okay PC, you can play Lost World. Just try it. I mean, try it before you deny it. Don't go off what the internet has to say. I have no idea what it's like on the 3DS. I mean, I have it on my 3DS, I just haven't touched it yet. I might make a video about it someday, but yeah, that's Sonic Lost World on the Addison-ometer. Let's pull it up. Ooh, I realize I didn't do this for Mario Wonder. But also, well, if you've seen that video, you know how it is. But ooh, yeah, it's like a 7.5. All right, that's about it. That's how moist. I can't say that.